As 2023 winds down, I kind of want to take a short moment to do a bit of a retrospective on my channel with its ups and downs, the goods and bad. I've been doing YouTube for about 3 years as a hobby. My first upload was back in February of 2021, and for the most part, I've really enjoyed it, and it's been a good time. Yo, no.
That is extra. No. That's extra. Pick it up.
Bro.
No, don't be
No,
ridiculous.
buddy.
Don't do it.
Wait,
Stop.
why did you drop a photo sitting on right angles like this? As you can see from my perspective, I can see his face. From his perspective, he can't see anything but the tip of my elbow. What most people don't know is that I actually started off doing Alias Muse style content on a separate channel prior to Shorts. And you can go back and see all those videos. They're still up. I can link them below. That's fine. And I do love those kind of videos. I really do. I think they're incredibly creative. It was fun to work with different indie artists and musicians. But they do also show my inexperience with video editing, because these were some of my first projects ever. I'd never touched a video editor before this. I really wouldn't have continued, honestly, had this channel not been swept up by the algorithm in the first few months of me starting. During this time, I really could throw up anything that I wanted, regardless of its quality, and it would get tens of thousands of views. And looking back at some of the videos I uploaded, I definitely did. You can take a look here at the different peaks and valleys of during these times of the peaks, right? This is when the algorithm just said, hey, whatever you upload, I'm going to push it for no reason. People are going to love it, people are going to hate it. And a lot of people, felt both ways about it. Because of this, it led to some bad habits. Obviously, I didn't spend as much time wanting to learn new things when it comes to video editing as I do now. But I think it was very encouraging early on to see that there was a group of people who did want to see some of my content. There's definitely times where in these I've had exceptional views, and other times where it's been minimal. And that's been, hard for me sometimes, because when there's no changes to your content and you hit these peaks where all of a sudden everyone's watching and it's like, it's amazing, but you haven't done anything different, it doesn't reflect on you as a creator, right? Because in the same, swing of things, when it goes down to these valleys and you've changed nothing about your content and no one's watching, you're not getting comments, it's discouraging, because it's like, what's the point? What am I doing? It's clearly nothing that I am doing, especially when you look at the comparison between TikTok and YouTube. I have videos on TikTok with millions of views that on YouTube barely broke 1,000. So I'm like, well, here's one platform that's less algorithm based, and it shows that my quality is, X amount of views worth. And then I go over to YouTube and it says, well, your short's worth 1,000 views because the algo just doesn't want to push it. And that's fine. But that can be discouraging, especially when I've been trying more and more to put effort into a video, only to see that it sucks, right? Even if people on TikTok like it and it blows up over there, it's just like, dude, it's so confusing, right? See, because I don't know what people want. It was definitely good for my sub count early on to hit an algo boost like that, but it's definitely had its negatives, right? The quantity of comments that came in during these peaks, it's usually a ton. It's just insane. And early on, especially early on, I read every single comment and wanted to reply to as many as possible, both positive or negative. If you are a creator, do not do that. It's just do not read every single comment, because there are some absolute fucking morons, and it's just going to drain you, and it's not worth your time. And I can say that now because I still read damn near every comment. So it's not good. Don't do it. Stop doing it. It's really not good for you. But it's because it's comments are my favorite thing about this hobby and doing YouTube. Just seeing what they like, what they don't like. We came up with or maybe we didn't come up with, but you know what I mean. We developed our own unique pin of shame, and that's been so fun. But there are definitely some of those, not just critiques, some just mean comments that can really be very draining on a creator. As we talk about comments, let's just move completely over to talking about my experience with both the Tarkov community, building my own unique channel community, and just kind of see how that's evolved over time. My channel definitely followed the generic procession of comments that everyone gets as they grow. But just in a condensed time frame. You'll see this if you go to smaller YouTube channels, and you'll also see it when you go to larger YouTube channels. On the smaller channels, you're going to see a lot of do you have Discord? Do you have a Discord? Do you have a Discord? Right? People want to build a community around a small creator. And then you're going to see slowly those comments move to, when are you going to start streaming? When do you stream? When do you stream? And then you go to the last chunk, which is I miss the old, fill in the blank. Shoulda, I miss the old, fill in the blank, your favorite creator. It's going to happen, right? It always happens. And I have to admit, I messed up and I played into that because you don't know enough at the beginning to avoid those kind of pitfalls. I had a community member who set up a Discord, and he was an admin, so he had all the admin perms. I didn't, and it all fell apart because he turned out to be a bit of a weirdo and something was off and it just was a mess. And so I just like left the Discord. I was like, that's fucking weird. Started my own. Discord's good now. It's fine. And you know what? I started streaming for a while too, but I just really don't enjoy streaming. It's so draining to be constantly on and go and always having to entertain while also trying to play a game. It's just not my style. I prefer being able to sit back, kind of craft something that I like, something that makes me laugh a little bit, and then send it and see how people respond to it. I like that disconnect between the live viewer because even with comments, I need a second to like kind of read it, suss it out. Maybe it's like, it's really hard to tell satire or tone, right, through a comment, but especially when somebody comes into a live chat and starts running their mouth, I'm like, I don't know if this guy's a fucking idiot or if he's goofing with me, and then you snap at him the wrong way, and they're like, oh, it's a joke, man. Why are you getting so serious? Like, oh, gross. I hate it. Hate it. Don't like streaming. And that last bit, the whole like, I'm definitely there now, I think, where people are like, I miss the old content. And, you know, it's really hard to hear. Even though this is just a hobby, it definitely sucks. I mean, seeing viewers who have like regularly commented in the past kind of turn their backs on you and get super shitty about you for making certain decisions, it's a crummy feeling, especially when, like, for me, I'm like, I don't feel like I've done anything else except try to be a little bit more creative with some of my content. Like, yeah, I used to just throw a headshot sound effect on every fucking video, and people are like, you don't do that anymore. Like, yeah, dude, I'm sorry. I'm trying to do, like, I had somebody saying, like, I miss the old content, and they were talking about the manly Tarkov, and I was like, motherfucker, I did one last week, and I only came up with that, like, 6 months ago. Like, that's, I consider that new Should've. I don't know. People are just so sensitive, man. I've definitely noticed over the years of streaming and YouTube, there are these, it's a weird, I know people have talked a lot about, like, parasocial, whatever, but there's this weird group of viewers who fetishize small creators because they feel like that creator is all theirs, right? That viewer gets all the attention, they get all the focus, especially if there's like 2 or 3 viewers in a Twitch stream, right? The streamer is essentially stuck there, like a captive audience replying to these people. And as soon as you get to a little bit, bigger, these like fetish viewers are like, oh man, like, I hate the way you are now, you've changed, and you know, that sucks, but there's nothing you can do about viewers like this. You just got to smile and move on. They're just a part of it. They suck, they're weird, and I've had plenty of them over my time, and I'm glad they're gone for the most part. It's just, people can be weird, really weird. As far as the rest of the community around the channel, there's definitely been both good and bad as well. I've made some great friends and some really kind, amazing viewers who we play games with now and are just good people. They're normal people like me, which I feel like is hard to find online, right? People that are normal, they're on your wavelength, and they're not some closeted freak. And I've had a lot of great larger creators come in and support me as I've grown, and they come and go, right? They're not there the whole time, but it's cool that they showed up at one point, right? So like early on, Veritas, he's a variety streamer now, does video essays, big Tarkov OG. But he had spent time commenting, chatting with me, just showing genuine interest in the channel. And it's really something special having one of the Tarkov OGs kind of notice me. Like early on, it got me all giddy. It's like meeting a celebrity, right? Same thing. I was on the Scav Talk podcast with Church and Gigabeef a couple times. And then I was followed by BSG on TikTok, and they kind of interacted with me there. And so it's cool to be recognized by the company that makes the game you're playing. It's just a neat feeling. And these are all dumb little nothing things. Like, they don't actually matter, right? Everyone's just a person and they're just a company, but it's still culminated into a fantastic experience. And that's kind of what you want as a creator. You want to be recognized for your contributions to a community, and that part of this hobby has been so great. In the same note, what hasn't been so great is making Tarkov content. Because, and it sounds weird, right? It sounds like a contradiction, but anyone who has spent time in the Tarkov community knows that it is a little bit rough, right? I always compare them to FromSoft fans, right? The people who make the Dark Souls games. Because there's this odd elitism that surrounds Tarkov, because people act all high and mighty because they play this super, I'm going to quote it, hardcore, right? Air quote, hardcore first-person shooter. Like, you're not better than people because you play Tarkov. At the end of the day, too, Tarkov is so fucking arcadey, and there's so many people that will refuse to admit to that. And the community can be rough. They can be mean. They can be weird about stuff. You say the wrong thing, right? There's like some morality about extract camping or VoIP or, you know, shooting another player scav as a player scav. It's just weird, man. People are just weird. I would say like one of my biggest failures definitely when it comes to this is not diversifying my content that I was uploading early on. And that is a mistake that like so many creators make. So many. Probably many of your favorite creators, if you go back to their oldest videos, they made the same mistake. You spend so much energy trying to build your channel up, you're not thinking about the long term, and you don't understand what YouTube is doing in the back end with its algorithm that is going to hinder you later on, right? You're not focusing about the future. You're just like grow. When you're just uploading one game, the algorithm gets tailored to that game. If I were to throw up a full like Baldur's Gate 3 video, it would probably get 50 views because the YouTube would recognize like, oh, a Tarkov channel is trying to do Baldur's Gate, bomb it. You know, it's just how it happens. But people can get out of it over time. It's totally possible to escape that. And you know, I'm trying to find my own creative niche and outlet, but we can talk about that later. But after all this, like here's the TLDR for this big chunk of it, is that like all that I can do is reiterate how grateful I am that this is just a hobby and I will never do this full time. I mean, good grief, there's too much ambiguity with YouTube, especially its monetization. I'll show more of that later. But I like my career path, you know, about out in the real world. I like what I'm doing. I've got a great life. So I don't I don't want people to be like, you know, thinking I'm all down about YouTube, man. Like, it's just YouTube, right? Tarkov is just a game. It's just it's not that serious to me. And before I talk about this next part, I just want to again reemphasize that like this is not to gain pity. This is just I want to lend some transparency, right? Because I make a lot of goofy videos, but like at the end of the day, normal dude behind the screen. And I think I'm going to incorporate some of that into a video essay on my other channel at some point. But I want to talk about kind of like some of the struggles with YouTube and my struggles with it. You know, because of how this channel was launched, right, with the algorithm picking me up, sending me out, and it wasn't necessarily anything that I did. It wasn't necessarily the quality of my content. I mean, again, Rust headshot noise in Tarkov like blew up. That's what crazy, right? I didn't do anything fucking special. So I've always struggled with feeling like this isn't something I deserved, right? Another year rolling your eyes because like, you've 25,000 subscribers. And it's like, yeah, but man, there are like people who want this, right? They want this and they fight so fucking hard for it and they put out such creative work and they don't get it. And I did nothing. And so it's frustrating for me. It can be just hard, right? Because they compound that feeling with some of these just awful comments. And those can really pull you down. And there's definitely been times where I question, is it even worth doing videos? Like, this is a hobby, but it's making me feel so shitty because of what these people are saying over a fucking game. It's hard, right? But I am also completely aware that this is just the nature of the internet, right? I'm not surprised by anything that's happened. I'm not surprised. There's never been a comment or a slur that's come my way that I'm like, oh my God, like I cannot believe it. No, I'm like, I'm just consistently disappointed with people. I'm not surprised, just so disappointed. I mean, yeah. And my struggle right now is like, I feel like I've been putting out better content. It's more creative, better quality, and spending time making the videos better, trying new things, kind of that stuff. But seeing those, like, the comments from people are like, you've changed, or the people who are like, this is such dog shit. I'm like, man, maybe I should go back to like 720p Rust headshot noise onto a clip. But no, I guess to wrap up the struggle bit, it's like, might be a little depressing, but again, my life's great. Discord's been great. Met a lot of great people, and this is just a hobby, and I'm enjoying it. But it's it's important. So I'm experimenting with other forms of content too. I mean, I've been putting out some long form stuff. I've been trying to blend some CS2 stuff because I've been having fun over there. But there's other stuff that like there's other games that like I don't know how to make content out of it, right? Like I did a full playthrough of Baldur's Gate. It took me like 55 hours to go through my first playthrough, and I'm already looking up like a build for the second one, but I'm like, there's no fucking, I can't make content over that. Like that's not, you can't make a 15-second short out of, well, somebody can, out of Baldur's Gate though, right? Like I just don't know how. I don't know. I mean, you're always welcome to give feedback or, ideas of what you might want to see, but that's it. Let's jump over to monetization. So real quick preface, this part's super fucking boring. So I will there's timestamps. Please skip to where things are fun for you, right? Monetization, this is just, again, transparency. So in my almost 3 years of doing this, I've made about $3,200. And that includes memberships, donations from streams, that kind of stuff. Probably a couple $100 from Twitch, from subs, because that's separate. But like, obviously not doing this for the money, right? So if we look at, I mean, to put it in perspective, one of my most viewed short on YouTube is 955,000, almost 1 million views. Let's just say 1 million. did not even make $20 on that video. It does not pay. YouTube does not pay for gaming shorts. If we look at an average one, right, where this one's got 12K, so I usually get like 5 to 10,000 views on a short. This one paid me $1. Like, it's just not worth, you know. So a lot of people on YouTube get caught up and they think everyone's in it for the money, and they think that people are like, they're just printing, these gaming YouTubers are just milking me for cash. But it's like, dude, the reality is, and this is definitely not true for like full, like long form, right? Long form videos can make a few $100, but for short form like me, like motherfucker, it's such a hobby, it's not even funny, right? I mean, this is why I opened up the membership option, right? So if those of you who want to pay a little forward to help support the channel can, right? It's like $3 to $10. I don't remember what the tiers are, but you can choose to monthly, you can choose to do one time, you can choose to do donuts. Doesn't matter. You can choose. All the options are there. I never force it, right? All the extra benefit, I do like behind the scenes videos like this for the members, and I talk through specifically like how views are doing, how certain videos performed, what I think I could have done different and whatnot. I mean, really all the money I get from that, I've been putting it basically towards software that I use to edit, or my electricity bill, right? That has to run the damn PC. So, you know, I do what I can to try and deliver value. I personally don't think it's enough value, but I also, you know, I'm not the viewer. It's hard to put a price point from the creator side of like, this is worth $3, right? This extra video I'm doing delivers $3 worth of value for people, and that, you know, it's equal. It's just hard, right? It's so hard. So I think, like, to wrap all this up, right? We'll talk kind of like what's going on in the future, and really just looking back at what I've learned. So I mean, looking back, I wish I had not started streaming. I think that was a total mistake. Don't enjoy doing it. I mean, it's cool that I have 1,000 followers on Twitch, but that's like nothing, right? But it's cool to say I have it. Yeah, but I don't think I would have done streaming. I don't think it's me. I know some people love it, some people are great at it, but not me. I don't love it. I prefer just playing the game, being able to goof around, and then kind of retroactively go back and pick out what I think's fun. I don't have to be like on all the time. I do work a boring corporate job, so like I actually am not. I don't have that streamer energy, right? I'm not. Yeah, not like some of those other guys. Good for them though. You know, and then I like looking forward, I think I'm probably going to take YouTube even more relaxed, just focus on like the more creative stuff as I have been doing, trying to do a little bit more just like stuff that I enjoy, right? I'm working on a couple video essays, not for this channel, right? I put out that Starfield one. It didn't do well on the Tarkov channel. Shocker. So I think moving forward, I'm going to take all of those sorts of videos and put them on the other channel. And I think I'm going to go focus on that a little bit more, because there's just a little bit more going on over there, a little bit more that I use up my brain juices compared to Tarkov shorts and CS shorts. But I think also just like probably not going to pay as much attention to the comments. Which sucks. I love the comments, but I love reading them, right? I love reading good comments, but when you do short form content, and arguably YouTube shorts specifically, compared to like my TikTok comments are great. I don't mind TikTok comments at all. People always joke about TikTok. They're fantastic. YouTube shorts comments are some of the most toxic, ridiculous, misinformed things I've ever seen in my life. I've never seen so many terrible takes compounded into one fucking location in my life. Maybe, arguably, if you ever go to like MSN.com, which is like just a Microsoft News Network thing, if you go there and click on a news article about anything politics and go to the comments section, that might rival the stupidity of YouTube shorts. But they're close. They're close. They're neck and neck. I guess TLDR. Here you go. I'll put this just for everyone else. TLDR. Not much is going to change, right? I'm going to continue trying new stuff, using the other Should've channel to upload some video essays, do some stuff there. I've got 2 in the works right now. We'll see where that goes. But I thought this would be cool to do, right? We're coming up on 3 years. 3 years of a hobby that's been super fun. I expected none of this, right? I went in blind with no expectations and no skill with any of this, except playing the games, and I am very happy with all the people I've met, with all of the creators I've worked with, and with all of the viewers I've met, with all the friends I've made. I appreciate all of you. Thank you for everyone who watches and comments, and even if I don't heart them or like them or respond, I do see them. Especially those of you who've been around for years. I recognize your names, and it always just warms my heart to be like, they're still here. That's crazy to me. That's crazy to me that there's just one person who's over the years sat there and been like, I like this guy. And it's year over year, they're still there. That's crazy. You don't have that a lot in life. That's it. Appreciate you guys hanging on, and we will see what we get up to in the future. Thank you.